Hello everyone, welcome to the Professor Michael Scott live readings of ancient Greek drama on YouTube. Well, thank you so much for joining in over the past couple of days. We've been through Sophocles' Antigone, Euripides' Electra, Euripides' Bacchae, and today for the final live reading we actually go back in time to visit one of the earliest surviving tragedians and the one for which we have a complete trilogy of plays. So in the ancient Greek world, in the theatre at Athens, plays, tragedies would have been put on as a set of three, followed by a satyr play, a bit of light relief at the end of all that tragedy. But the only surviving trilogy we have is Aeschylus' Oresteia. Now, Aeschylus is a very interesting playwright in that actually he was also a soldier. Aeschylus was at the Battle of Marathon against the Persians when they invaded in 490. We think he was probably also at the Battle of Salamis in 480. And indeed, kind of on his tomb, so it's told to us by the ancient sources, he decided to have his military credits memorialized on his tomb rather than that of his credits as a literary playwright. But a fantastic playwright he was. And the Oresteia trilogy looks at this central Greek myth of King Agamemnon of Mycenae, who sacrificed his daughter Iphigenia to be able to get the winds to lead the campaign, the Greek campaign, to Troy, and then following the destruction of Troy returns home to find his wife Clytemnestra, who in revenge for his killing of their child Iphigenia has taken a lover, Aeschylus, and is now plotting his own murder. Now, in the first of the Oresteia trilogy, the play Agamemnon, which we're reading from today, it's when King Agamemnon returns home. And the scene we're about to read is when he literally turns up at the front door of his palace for the first time and speaks to the chorus, to the assembled people of the city, before turning to be greeted by his wife, who will emerge towards the end of the speech. So here we go. Argos first. As it is right and proper, I greet, and her local gods, who have helped me to my safe return and to the justice I exacted from Priam's town. For listening to no pleadings by word of mouth, without dissenting voice, they cast into the bloody urn their ballots for the murderous destroying of Ilium, but to the urn of acquittal that no hand filled, hope alone drew near. The smoke, even now, still declares the city's fall. Destruction's blasts still live, and the embers, as they die, breathe forth rich fumes of wealth. For this success, we shall render to the gods a return in ever mindful gratitude, seeing that we have thrown around the city the toils of vengeance, and in a woman's cause it has been laid low by the fierce Argive beast, brood of the horse, a shield-armed folk that launched its leap when the Pleiades waned. Vaulting over its towered walls, the ravening lion lapped up his fill of princely blood. For the gods, then, I have stretched out this prelude. But touching your sentiments, which I heard and still bear in memory, I both agree and you have in me an advocate. For few there are among men in whom it is inborn to admire without envy a friend's good fortune. For the venom of malevolence settles upon the heart and doubles the burden of him who suffers from that plague. He is weighed down himself by his own calamity and groans to see another's prosperity. From knowledge, for well I know the mirror of companionship, I may call a shadow of a shade those who feigned exceeding loyalty to me. Only Odysseus, the very man who sailed against his will, once harnessed proved my zealous yoke fellow. This I affirm of him, whether he is alive or dead. But for the rest, in what concerns the state and public worship, we shall appoint open debates and consider. Where all goes well, we must take counsel so that it may long endure, but wherever there is need of healing remedy, we will, by kind appliance of cautery or the knife, endeavour to avert the mischief of the disease. And now I will pass to my palace halls and to my household hearth, and first of all pay greetings to the gods. They who sent me forth have brought me home again. May victory, now that it has attended me, remain ever with me, constant to the end. And it's at this point, of course, that everyone else watching the play bar Agamemnon and a few other oracular figures know that that is not how things are going to turn out. We know everything that Agamemnon doesn't. And Clytemnestra now emerges to greet her husband. There is an exchange in which Agamemnon introduces Cassandra, his new courtesan, who's the professor that he's brought back from Troy. And Clytemnestra is not obviously very happy to see this new introduction to the household, but then encourages Agamemnon to walk across a sea of purple garments, which is a very, very hubristic thing to do. And Agamemnon is initially very wary of doing so, but eventually is convinced by Clytemnestra to do so, and so walks across these garments, in so doing committing that hubris, and that then when he enters into the palace, you then hear of his murder, most famously in the bath. So thank you so much for joining in for this live reading. It's been great to be with you this week. And just a reminder that next week, if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll not only be able to see the live readings from previous days, but you will also be able to see an additional set of readings that I'll have recorded and put up on the YouTube channel. So we're going to be doing speeches from Euripides' Medea, Sophocles' Ajax, Sophocles' Oedipus Rex, Oedipus Tyrannus, and Plato's Apology. So those will all be there for you to enjoy at your leisure next week. And also next week, on the 17th of June, I'm going to be doing a live webinar with the Center for Hellenic Studies in Washington in conjunction with Out of Chaos Theatre. And we're going to be talking about Euripides' Ion, so another one of his plays. Of Euripides' plays, and that will be acted out. Certain speeches will be acted out by actors far, far better than myself, and then I'll be there helping to discuss the meaning of and context of the play as well, with a series of invited discussants. So if you'd like to join that, we've put the links up on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Prof Michael Scott, as well as on my Twitter @ProfMCScott, and you can register to watch that, and in fact just watch it live through YouTube as well if you find the Center for Hellenic Studies landing page, which we've signaled on the Facebook page and via Twitter. So very much hope you can join me on the 17th of June. That will kick off at 3 p.m. UK time, GMT, for about an hour and a half. And then the following day, on the 18th of June, we also have my live Q&A on Facebook. So do send in your questions. If you've got questions about the ancient world, do send them in to michaelscottacademic@gmail.com or direct to the Facebook page, and that will be a live Q&A through Facebook. So do sign up to the Prof Michael Scott page there. We look forward to seeing you next week. In the meantime, have a great rest of your week, and thank you so much for joining me on these live readings.